But where's the clicker? Wait. Hi? Wait. Am I literally just... Alright
I
then.
just mentioned that they looked a lot like letters earlier. Oh my goodness.
Guys, we have the power to make words.
Well, we are a writer.
No, not the bird.
No, enough birds.
Oh, that's a lot more tame than I was expecting. I was expecting someone to insult us.
Look, it's a sofa. Okay, so let's put a crate. Wait, it literally says path. Barrel.
What? I'm leaving you, Alan. I met someone. I'm in love with someone else.
Alice? No, what do you say? You can't.
You don't love me. How could you? You don't even love yourself. All you do is torture yourself with work you can't do anymore.
No,
But
I love you more
I'm
than
like
anything in the world.
in my 30s, dude. You can write till you're like 80. Look at like Tolkien or George R. R. Martin or Stephen King.
Doing? Put the light back on. What are you doing, Alan? Stop. Put the light back on.
It wasn't true. Nothing like that had ever happened.
Guys, you need to talk. You can't keep absorbing the game.
I promise to be good.
What the fuck? Bird leg cabin? What the hell?
I will help you write your masterpiece.
I wanna see this shit.
Yeah, but you're a Let's Player, Yule. You can't just start being silent when you want to get immersed in the game.
But I want to see a leg.
Your heart is filled with darkness.
What is a
Where's the
bird
leg?
leg?
Put that knife away, Thomas. Put it
Bird leg cabin. Okay, so can you get multiple endings? I'm assuming this could lead to multiple endings. Bird. All those birds have traumatized you into saying, "Bird, I see birds everywhere."
Darkness.
Filled with darkness and bird.
Hag. Where am I? Let me go.
Now we're at the end of the game.
Yeah, I
think.
believe so.
I hope.
But it's a word.
Now
You're not a word.
never get her back.
I mean, this is definitely the ending sequence. Let's say that.
I am much older than you.
Yeah, I can tell.
Okay. What does that have to do with anything?
If you're trying to flirt with me, it's a bad idea.
Find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
Joke's on you. I have a clicker. Click.
What the fuck did he do?
It's a clicker. Yeah, it's a
He
clicker.
thrust into her and she died. That's very
He-
bad.
Did this?
Alan, no means no.
He used a clicker, dude. Like, he thrusted his
Yeah, he
fist
used
into
his
it and
clicker,
used a
alright.
clicker.
He sure stuck his clicker inside her.
Jesus Christ, Gweet.
What? I mean, that's what he did.
Man,
What-
you really
am I
have
wrong?
weird names for that stuff.
You suck, dude. You really suck.
God, Alan is just such a hound.
Dude, stop. Please. I
5 o'clock
beg you.
shadow really just gets him going.
I beg you, please stop.
I could feel Alice's presence close by.
To see her Numura slayed it back in the day.
I knew how to write the ending to Departure.
Okay, what is he going to write?
There's light and
That
there's
smile
darkness.
looks so unnatural.
Cause and effect. There's
Kind of
gap
does.
between
Like, I was
television.
praising the graphics for the cars earlier, but I'm starting to feel like the actual models are showing their 360 PS3 era.
There's a long journey through the night back into the light. Alice?
Man, that ending better be good.
Alice? Oh no!
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
But now he's wearing a thong. Great. He really is just one of those guys.
What did he write? What's the ending?
And everything was good with the world once again.
No,
Sephiroth
Alan.
stopped attacking us. It was great.
No, Alan did say that there was a balance, that he couldn't just write a happy ending. So what the hell did he write?
This is one of those. It's your interpretation. I'm gonna be salty.
Oh shit!
She drowned.
No. I
He
think that.
drowned.
Yeah, I think that's the. Yeah, he wrote himself out. Oh shit!
So she
Man,
survived.
why couldn't he have just written out one of the random deputies?
So the ending of Departure is Alan dies.
Or just is gone.
Wow. So that's the happy ending. Alice survives, at the very least.
Lukewarm.
Yeah. Yeah, but
She really
I
needs
mean-
some better clothes, though.
And alright, Alan can't keep it to himself. Really needs to stop tempting him.
so basically the ending is you go back to the beginning and Alan disappears.
Awful.
And Alice is the
Seems
one
that
left.
Seems that way.
Huh. And there's the happy ending, I guess. The Deer Festival is going on. So it's a happy ending for everyone except for Alan. Yeah, that's basically it.
He got his happy ending because he's finally out of work.
He's finally going off to
Aw,
make Kingdom
look
Hearts
at
movies
that.
like he's always
You-
should have.
Look at that. Even the guy.
Yeah,
even
he
those
just brought
guys are
himself
happy.
into a different universe.
I'm just seeing a lot of fucking boomers on the screen. I don't know how this is supposed to be happy. Are they celebrating holding the millennials down or something?
Oh, come the fuck on! You can.
What the fuck was that in the background?
The guy who got killed by darkness.
Darkness.
Oh. He had to write a fucking. No, I hate you, Alan, so much. Alan wrote a cliffhanger. That's the. Oh my god.
Well, I do remember hearing a lot of people were salty about like how it got a cliffhanger, but it's probably not going to get a sequel.
Great. Well, I guess Control exists for that. So yeah, final thoughts, everybody. This game is fantastic, but it has issues. It's a lot of issues.
Yeah. I feel like not that. Well, I mean, everything we do always gets pretty fucking dated in the end, so it doesn't matter. But I heard a criticism about, or an opinion about the new Star Wars trilogy that fits to Alan Wake pretty well. It seems it's like there's a lot of, you can write a lot of issues about it, but it still seems like a pretty good time if you're not thinking too deeply about it. You know, you're not putting too much stock into it.
I think that the game is actually pretty good. It's pretty well written, and I love that everything since the ending. Now I realize why I forgot about it. But in all honesty, I still think that this game is fantastic. Too bad about the fucking mechanics because they're horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's honestly pretty all right if you're not playing on hard mode, but if you're playing on hard mode and trying to get everything, then yeah, the game's kind of just telling you to go fuck yourself, and that's never really a good thing.
Yeah, like there's a difference between hard and challenging, and this game is hard, not challenging, and that's the issue.
Yeah, I would actually like to kind of equate it to a game I'm playing currently, just kind of just to have some experience with and to be ready for the eventual LP, Jack 2, where it's like it's really good at like changing what you think about Remedy and changing a lot of their design and story beats but it also comes at the cost of a lot of mechanics that are kind of detrimental to playing the game. Like with Jak 2, there's like a ton of bad checkpoint systems, and like driving cars are a pain in the ass, but it's still a good time. And with Alan Wake, it's like everything seems like a pretty alright time. It's just dodging items being thrown at you is a pain in the ass. Being able to run is very sluggish, and Alan has a really slow run speed and a sprint speed that
And he
kind
gets
of just fails him at the end.
winded pretty easily as well, which also
Literally what I just said. But yeah,
yeah,
right.
which also works against the design of the game, because this game is not designed to pin you against hordes, and that's the thing that the game primarily does: throw you against hordes of enemies. That is
and
not
like
fair.
I kept bringing up the hordes of crows, and it's like that's a really good example of why the combat just doesn't work as well as you think it should. Because, you know, it just doesn't really match well with hordes of enemies, whereas like Resident Evil 2, they can throw some Resident Evil in general can throw some hordes at you, but you're equipped to either deal with it or get away from them.
Yeah.
So
And it's not like you're not equipped to deal with the things. I mean, you saw that I have a lot of ammo, but the problem is that there's too many enemies to deal with. So
well,
you
yeah,
don't
that's
end
what
up.
I mean by like, you're not equipped. Is in like you can have a shit ton of ammo. You can have a shit ton of ammo in Resident Evil as well. It doesn't matter if the mechanics themselves are failing you.
Yeah.
I can have
Because-
a minigun, and if that minigun's missing 80% of the time, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Same deal with the weapons in Alan Wake. Like they're cool and they work and stuff like that. But when you put Alan against a bunch of enemies and you expect him to find nooks and crannies, when you know that he's trying to avoid enemies, it doesn't work. It's not a level. It's not design that's meant for exploration. It's design that works against the player, and yeah that's simply not good design.
And
Other
from what
than-
I've seen of Control, which is probably one of the next Remedy games we're going to be tackling, if not Max Payne, or even Max Payne has some better because it's more of an action shooter, so it kind of lets you get away with more. And with Control, it seems like Control takes what Alan Wake tried to be and really, really refines it pretty well.
Yeah, Leon, what are your final thoughts now that you've seen the ending of this game?
I think Legon's having a coughing fit or something, or he's just being silent like Legon tends to do in these moments.
Yeah, because he loves living it like that. Yeah, but still, like the fact that he ends in a cliffhanger is also kind of.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I joined halfway through, so I didn't get the full story. But like, the fact that it is kind of a cliffhanger is pretty disappointing. In that the fact that, like, come on,
Yeah,
it's Remedy's the only series Remedy's ever given sequels to. Well, no, Max is kind of the only series that Remedy has given sequels to is pretty much Max Payne.
I mean, Remedy keeps hinting at a sequel to Alan Wake to Alan Wake, and we still have Alan Wake's American Nightmare, but I hear that's more of a spin-off rather than a,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's like a DLC spin-off-y thing.
No, Alan Wake American Nightmare is it's a full game, but like I said before, from what I've heard, it's more of a spin-off rather than a full like a sequel. But still, I feel like the game could have done better if they actually just went for pure exploration and toned down the encounters with enemies. Because this game really opens up a lot for exploration rather than combat.
Well, like I brought up with Control, it's like it seems like Control is very much that, and it's that its combat is very defined, and the mechanics work really well, and the enemy you're not being pounded with enemy after enemy to where it's like I'm not built to deal with armies of fucking darkness or whatever.
Yeah. Honestly, I like the more interesting enemies. Like I make fun of it, but fighting against things like the monster truck, the bulldozer, or that
was
concert
pretty
sequence.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will
like-
give the
like-
combat this. There are a lot of funny moments, like how Yule Pro Gamer, or the hatchet got him right as he got to the sunlight.
Yeah,
It's like for the monster truck.
What is it? Dagon.
Oh, just laughing.
But like I said, the game does have its own interesting takes in monsters and its own good boss fights and stuff. But even the puzzles get repetitive, and there are so many cracks in the seams in this game to make me recommend it to someone. Because yeah, I love Alan Wake as much as the next guy, but I still don't think that I think that you should play it in normal and don't even bother about the notes.
Yeah, and look up
It's
the rest on
definitely not worth
YouTube or
it.
something, which is
Yeah.
kind of sad because like it's like almost looking stuff up in a guide for a 2019 game. It's like unless it's an RPG, you shouldn't be doing that. But we're kind of here with Alan Wake, which was not like 2019 by any stretch of imagination. You're gonna be wrong, but it's this decade of gaming, and like, yeah, it kind of sucks that you have to just kind of look up a guide and deal with it like that instead of playing the game itself because the game feels unfair.
Yeah, because it's definitely not worth it. Like, it's fun, especially with friends, but as a standalone, you're gonna get bored and you're gonna get irritated because of so much bullshit that
And
is
the
going
story's
to
not
fucking
going to
kill
be
you.
worth it in the end.
Yeah.
I think Jack 2 was a very good comparison because like both games really set a good foundation for a modern a more modern take on what their genres were. Jack being a sort of an action platformer in the PS2 era, and Alan Wake being sort of a exploration-ish game, like a Remedy game, basically like an action adventure game. Really,
hmm
I think something like Alan Wake is the prime example of what an action adventure game would be, and it's like I think both have other games and series and other games even by their own developers that do what they're trying to do way better. Like Naughty Dog did Last of Us, and that kind of does. And Uncharted. Uncharted does Jack better than like Jack does, and
It's unfortunate.
yeah, and there are other action adventure games like Alan Wake that, like even Control, does it kind of better. So
Yeah. It's unfortunate, really, because there is a lot to like about Alan Wake, like a lot.
Yeah. What do you
The
think, Legon? You were kind of silent and didn't get a chance to put your final thoughts in.
yeah,
I don't really have much to say other than what you've already put in. It's just I think that the gameplay is far too they focus far too much on the gameplay mechanics that don't work rather than the ones that do, specifically combat, instead of just exploring and all that, which like you've already mentioned is something that they improved on with Control. But I
Right.
think that just the story, in terms of just the story itself, meh, it's good, but I can understand why it's very easily forgettable.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel like the problem is that they really, really tried to dive in deep with that Stephen King aesthetic and kind of missed a ton of the points that make Stephen King novels like really memorable
Stephen
and
King
really
novels.
good. Yeah, really good and memorable.
Yeah.
In favor of things that would not work in that kind. Because I get you have to make a video game, but you could make a Stephen King like aesthetic and environment and game without having to make it like super bang bang shooty. It's like Stephen King novels have combat and violence in them. It's like it's just you can make it more tense and more horror, than instead of another flock of fucking crows are coming after me.
this is one of
Yeah.
the reasons why people say that action doesn't work in horror, and they try to use it as an example to say that weapons
As a
don't work.
counterpoint, I point to Resident Evil.
Exactly, I was going to say that. Like, there is like, yeah, I understand where it can't work, and Alan Wake does show that. But at the same time, games like Resident Evil show us that yeah, you can have weapons, and yeah, they obviously don't work 100% of the time, but you can make that kind of shit work in a horror setting. That's
Well,
what.
sorry, I actually hiccuped while I was trying to get at a point. I think where I can justify the opinion that action doesn't work in a horror game is because you don't call Resident Evil classic Resident Evil and somewhat 4, but less so. You don't call that action horror. You call that like survival horror. So technically, it's not wrong to think that action doesn't work in horror because action and survival are two almost different. Like survival means you are trying to not get wrecked by very threatening enemies that can pretty much decimate you with as little effort as possible. And I feel like if you're gonna make a horror setting, you have some action in it. Like even I brought up Stephen King, and there are moments of like gruesomeness in those books, but like they're very self-contained and very not like I'm shooting shotguns and throwing flashbangs like they're fucking hand grenades and shining my flashlight like it's a minigun and everything. You know, it's like that's where I think it doesn't work in horror because it's like there's no threat that is not actually small. Like I guess the best example is when you're fighting a ton of enemies in Alan Wake. Yeah, it sucks because they're gonna kill you all, but it's because there's so many and they're coming at you all at once. Even on normal mode, I'm sure that's the case.
Along
Whereas
with
Resident,
the fact where you just don't have many good ways to defend yourself in a horde.
yeah, and it's whereas like something like Resident Evil 2 remake or even the classic Resident Evil games. Yeah, you can learn to get around them after playing them multiple times, but it doesn't change the fact that one licker can still threaten your entire run. You know, and it's just one enemy.
Or say
So-
RE7, a single molded, or just a single of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if
And
you want to have like the more action oriented but have a single threat, it's like the Nemesis is a good example from RE3.
Or
And-
Mr. X.
And yeah, and these things that you're mentioning that one enemy can disrupt your entire gameplay, that's the thing that Alan Wake tries to do. But the difference is that Alan Wake just throws a lot of them at you, and
Mm-hmm.
they don't let you you know fight
One
them.
enemy can interrupt your entire flow of everything, so we're going to give you 50 of them.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
the problem. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
it seems like Alan Wake's mechanics are fine-tuned, or not fine-tuned because that's not the right word. They're built to be like a Resident Evil style horror experience, and it's like you're throwing RE5.
They're missing the crowd
hordes
control element of it.
Yeah, you're throwing RE5 hordes at me. Like, okay.
That's not going to
RE5
work.
hordes with RE3 control.
It seems like the problem with Alan Wake boils down to they wrote a good story, which Remedy is always pretty good at writing a pretty decent story.
Mhm.
But their design development and the gameplay, they couldn't escape their Max Payne tendencies, whereas they did in Control. So I think that's what makes it a little bit of a better experience, as opposed to Alan Wake, where it's like there's a good story here that is kind of forgettable, but it's kind of worth checking out a little bit. But the gameplay is so entrenched in its bad habits that it's hard to really play it multiple
Yeah.
times or even recommend it to someone who's not that interested in it.
Yeah. So in summation, play this game in normal. Like that's my recommendation.
Play it
I
in normal or watch an LP.
yeah.
Yeah, and if
I
you're
recommend
not that interested in playing it, watch an LP like our LP.
yeah. This is the
Hashtag
game.
shameless plug.
I recommend that you I recommend that you play this game because it is fantastic in so many areas, but
Yeah.
playing it
I
at the
thought
max
credits were almost done
difficulty.
because they were at the special thanks, and now we're at the soundtrack.
Yeah, but the fact that it's trying to so hard with the difficulty, that is something that doesn't convince me to say, hey, play this game at max difficulty, because no.
Max.
Ah.
You'll get the maximum pain out of that difficulty.
Yeah.
Now you just killed it.
Yeah, I
There-
did.
Yeah, there are
I fucking did kill it. You know why? Because that joke is bad.
Yeah, but yeah, actually, to give you a point with, there are some games that I can recommend playing on the highest difficulty setting, but that's because those are difficult. That's because those
Yeah.
are actually, they provide fair challenge, and
It's the tangent we've had. It's the tangent we've had the entire time playing the game.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna make a hardest difficulty and put requirements in that hardest difficulty for things in the game, you should design the difficulty to be not actually robbing the player from like getting past the section.
Yeah.
If you have to cheaply rob your player to get past the section to call it a difficulty mode, it's not difficult. It's just a pain in the ass and it's a waste of time.
Thank you for plugging the books written by your original, the character.
I do kind of like that's a cute little like
Alan Wake's journey will continue. No, it won't.
maybe.
Maybe.
They should have put asterisk.
like
maybe.
I said before, Remedy's hinting at the sequel for a while, so yeah.
Who
That
knows?
is Alan
I mean,
Wake, ladies and
they were
gentlemen.
busy with Control, which is kind of a project that came out of nowhere. But maybe Alan Wake will come back. I don't know. I hope they refine a lot of the problems that we have with this first one and the second one.
Yeah, because Alan Wake's story definitely needs to continue, and I actually look forward to how they are going to continue it. But at the same time, I also think that I think that like it deserves to be treated like a horror game, which with a higher emphasis on exploration rather than on combat.
Yeah, I mean, even with my nitpicks in the story writing, I think it deserves a sequel as a chance to fix those nitpicks. Like in all fairness, nothing is outright like no, I'm not gonna like. There are very few things I would ever not just give a sequel to just for the sake of like fuck it. So
Yeah.
Alan Wake would definitely not be one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, Alan Wake, I think it's fine. Play it on normal difficulty, and yeah. But
Yep.
yeah, I believe that's about it for our let's play of Alan Wake. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the many failures and the many funny moments I had. But
And Link to the Past in between these parts.
Link to the Past will be continuing. Hopefully, now that we're done with Alan Wake, we're probably going to be getting back to Sonic Heroes to wrap that up.
Yeah.
Yay!
We're finally wrapping up the LPs that we started the year that we started the channel with. What is
boys, we're doing more horror games. Oh yeah, this is happening.
Yeah, the next horror game that we'll be playing is
Sonic
probably
Heroes.
yeah, that's a horror game.
That's the joke. You figured it out. I'm happy for it. Did it, boy.
Nah,
I get humor.
Okay. But the next horror game that we'll probably be playing is Dead Space Extraction or something like that. I'm not.
Honestly, don't
Yeah.
count on it because like with how burned out we got with Dead Space by the end of it, I feel like we're kind of done with that series for a minute.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
need
know
something
what? Yeah. We're probably going to.
We're
stray
probably
away-
gonna take a break from horror.
Probably was
Yeah,
the-
we're probably gonna stray away from horror for a little bit.
Because like with how Halloween turned out,
we had too much concentrated in one spot, so we're just gonna keep doing that again.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we're definitely going to stay away from horror for a little bit,
tune
but
in for and hopefully for the weekends we'll be getting back to Persona 2. So yep, we're in a good place.
So yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic night and take care.